Close your eyes for a moment. Listen closely, not just with your ears, but with your entire being. For what I am about to tell you has the power to transform your life forever. 3 words. That is all it takes to shift your reality, to move mountains unseen, to bend the very fabric of your world to your will. But these words are not to be spoken with hesitation, nor with mere hope. They must be declared with unwavering certainty, with a heart that already knows it is done. When you speak from conviction, the universe bends to your will. The words you utter are not empty sounds. They are vibrations, commands sent forth into the infinite, shaping the formless into form. This is the great secret. Whatever you declare with full belief becomes the law upon which your world is built. These 3 words hold immeasurable power. They are not a request nor a plea. They are a finality, a seal upon your desire. When you say it is done, you do not look for signs. You do not question when or how. You simply know. And in that knowing, the unseen forces begin their work. Think of the greatest manifestations in your life, those moments when things appeared effortlessly, when what you once longed for simply showed up. Look back, and you will see a pattern. In the moment you let go, in the moment you knew it was already yours, it came. This is the secret of creation. You do not chase, you do not beg. You declare, you assume. You step into the feeling of already having it. And then, as surely as the sun rises, it must appear. Doubt is the only enemy. The moment you say it is done and then wonder, but when? But how? You undo the very power you set in motion. But if you stand firm, if you walk as though the unseen is more real than the seen, then the world has no choice but to yield to your assumption. So, tonight, before you sleep, close your eyes and declare with absolute certainty, it is done. Feel the reality of your desire as though it has already come to pass. And when you wake, carry yourself as the one who already has it. There is a truth so profound, so absolute, that it has been whispered throughout the ages by sages, mystics, and those who have unlocked the secrets of reality. It is the understanding that words are not merely sounds. They are forces that shape existence itself. The words you speak, whether aloud or in the silence of your mind, are the very substance from which your reality is formed. Every word carries a vibration, an energy that extends beyond the physical realm. To speak is to create, for your words are the bridge between the unseen and the seen. They are not idle expressions. They are commands sent forth into the vast, infinite field of possibility, where all things exist in potential, waiting to take form. Consider for a moment the nature of your own experiences. Look around at the circumstances of your life, at the relationships you have built, the success you have attained, or the struggles you continue to endure. If you were to trace these experiences back to their origins, you would find that they are directly tied to the words you have consistently spoken, whether in thought or aloud. The person who declares, "Nothing ever works out for me," will find themselves trapped in an endless cycle of disappointments. The one who believes, "I am always struggling," will encounter obstacles at every turn. These words, spoken with conviction, act as an instruction to the unseen forces that govern reality, ensuring that what is declared must come to pass. But just as words can limit, they also have the power to liberate. The one who affirms, "I am worthy of love and abundance," will begin to see life reorganize itself to reflect this new belief. The one who says, "Everything I desire flows to me effortlessly," will notice doors opening in ways they never imagined. This is not a matter of wishful thinking or empty affirmations. Words alone are not enough unless they are spoken with belief, with a deep knowing that they are shaping what is to come. A mere repetition of phrases will not shift reality unless those words are felt as truth. It is the emotion, the unwavering certainty behind them that gives them life. To truly harness this power, one must become deliberate in speech, both internal and external. The casual complaints, the habitual self-doubt, the unconscious repetition of limitations, all of these must be replaced with declarations of possibility, of certainty, of already having received that which is desired. Imagine a sculptor standing before a block of marble. Every strike of the chisel, every precise movement shapes the vision they hold in their mind. In the same way, your words carve out the reality you experience. Each sentence, each thought, each expression is another stroke that molds your world into form. There is no neutrality in speech. Every word either moves you closer to your desired life or further away from it. To speak negatively is to reinforce the very conditions you wish to escape, but to speak in alignment with the reality you desire is to call it forth, to summon it from the unseen into the tangible. This is why it is said, "Let the weak say, I am strong," not because they are denying their current condition, but because by declaring strength, they set into motion the forces that will make it so. They do not wait for external evidence to change before they speak the truth of what they desire. They speak it first, knowing that the world will rearrange itself to match their declaration. What will you choose to speak into existence? Will you continue to affirm limitations, or will you begin to declare the reality you truly wish to experience? The choice is always yours. But know this, every word you utter is a seed planted, and every seed must bear fruit. Choose your words with the same care you would choose the foundation of a great structure, for upon them your entire reality is built. The world you see before you is not separate from you. It is not something happening to you, nor is it an external force beyond your control. It is in every sense a reflection of your own consciousness. What you hold within, the thoughts you dwell upon, the beliefs you accept as true, shapes the very reality you experience. The unseen patterns of your mind give birth to the visible world around you. Consciousness is the foundation of all creation. Everything that exists first began as an idea, a thought, an unseen impression upon the mind. Before a great structure is built, it is conceived in the mind of the architect. Before an invention is brought into existence, it is imagined by the creator. Before success, love, or abundance manifests in a person's life, it is first accepted in their inner world as real. There is no escaping this truth. Whether one is aware of it or not, they are constantly creating. The repetition of thought, the emotions tied to those thoughts, and the deep beliefs formed over time act as the blueprint for one's reality. That which is impressed upon the subconscious mind with feeling and certainty will inevitably externalize itself in the world of form. Look at your own life and consider this principle in action. The circumstances you face, the events that unfold, the relationships you attract, each of these is the outpicturing of the state of consciousness you have persistently occupied. A person who habitually dwells on lack and struggle will find that life mirrors these beliefs, bringing forth experiences that affirm their inner assumptions. Conversely, one who consistently impresses upon their mind the feeling of abundance, success, and fulfillment will see these conditions materialize in ways that seem effortless. This is not coincidence, nor is it random, it is law. The universe does not respond to wishful thinking or fleeting desires. It responds to the deep convictions you hold as truth. If you wish to change your life, you must begin by changing what you impress upon your consciousness. Repetition is the key. A single thought held briefly may pass without effect, but a thought repeated with feeling day after day embeds itself into the subconscious. And once something is impressed upon the subconscious mind, it moves into action, influencing behavior, perception, and ultimately experience. This is why those who assume failure find themselves failing, while those who assume success seem to attract opportunities with ease. To harness this power, one must become the master of their inner world. It is not enough to wish for a better life. one must assume the state of already having it. This means thinking, speaking, and feeling as though the desired reality is already true, not in the future, not someday, but now. The subconscious does not differentiate between what is real and what is imagined. It simply accepts what is consistently fed to it. If you desire abundance, dwell upon abundance. If you seek love, impress upon your mind the feeling of being deeply loved. If you wish for success, assume the identity of one who is already successful. Let your inner dialogue reflect this truth. Let your emotions align with it, and let your actions follow naturally from this assumption. Doubt and fear are the only barriers to manifestation. The moment you waver, questioning whether your thoughts truly have power, you disrupt the process. But when you remain firm, unwavering in your conviction, the external world must conform. It has no choice, for reality is only the echo of the state of mind you consistently occupy. Everything begins within. Change your consciousness and you will change your world. It is not a question of if, it is a certainty. What you impress upon your mind through repetition and deep belief must externalize itself. This is the nature of reality, and it is the key to transformation. There is a power within you so vast, so absolute, that when properly understood and applied, it can transform your entire life. This power is the law of assumption. It is not wishful thinking, nor is it mere positive affirmations. It is the unshakable knowing that what you assume to be true will harden into fact. Reality does not unfold based on chance, effort, or external circumstances. It conforms to your assumptions, your deep, unquestioned beliefs about yourself and the world. To assume is to take something as real, to accept it without question. And when you assume something with conviction, without doubt, and with full emotional acceptance, it must become your experience. The world around you is simply a mirror reflecting your internal state. Every event, every encounter, and every circumstance is a response to the assumptions you hold. Look at your own life and you will see this truth in action. The person who believes they are always overlooked will find themselves ignored in conversations, passed over for opportunities, and forgotten by those they seek attention from. Not because the world is cruel, but because they have assumed invisibility. They have taken on the identity of someone who is ignored, and the world must reflect it back to them. On the other hand, the one who assumes they are loved, successful, and deserving of abundance walks through life with an air of confidence, and the world bends to match this inner state. They do not chase opportunities. Opportunities seek them. They do not struggle to be noticed. Their presence is naturally acknowledged, not because they are lucky, but because they have assumed the state of already having what they desire. Most people live as though they are at the mercy of circumstances, reacting to life as it unfolds. They assume lack, struggle, and limitation without realizing they are the cause of their own conditions. But the truth is, you are never experiencing reality itself. You are experiencing your assumptions about reality. If you wish to change your life, you must first change your assumptions. This requires living from the end, occupying the state of the wish fulfilled. It means seeing yourself as already possessing the very thing you desire, not hoping for it, not waiting for it, but knowing it is yours. You must assume the feeling of already having it, allowing that feeling to dominate your consciousness. If you desire wealth, assume the consciousness of wealth. See yourself as already abundant, already living the life of financial freedom. Feel the ease and security that come with it. If you desire love, assume that you are already loved, that you are cherished, valued, and deeply appreciated. Feel it as real, and the world will have no choice but to mirror this assumption back to you. Doubt is the only thing that can delay or disrupt this process. The moment you allow fear, hesitation, or conflicting beliefs to take hold, you begin to shift back into your previous state. And so, persistence is key. Do not waver. Do not look to external circumstances for validation. The world is only an echo of what you have already assumed to be true. Change the cause, your inner world, and the effect, your external world, must follow. You do not need to force or manipulate reality. You do not need to struggle or beg for what you desire. The only work required is the inner work of assuming the feeling of already having it. When you fully accept this, the bridge of incidents will unfold naturally. The right people, the right circumstances, and the right opportunities will appear effortlessly because reality is bound by law. It must reflect your assumption. Dare to assume greatness. Dare to assume abundance, love, success, and joy. Walk in the knowing that it is already yours, and reality will bow to your assumption. This is not theory, it is law. Assume the feeling of your wish fulfilled, and you will see the evidence of it manifest before your very eyes. Words alone carry no power unless they are felt. It is not enough to merely declare what you desire. You must embody it, feel it as real, and live from that feeling now. Emotion is the bridge between imagination and manifestation. What you feel deeply with conviction is what impresses upon your subconscious mind and shapes the reality you experience. The world you see is not separate from you. It is a reflection of the state you dwell in. Every person, every event, every opportunity that enters your life is a response to the emotions and beliefs you consistently hold. If you wish to transform your life, you must learn to feel the fulfillment of your desires now, before any physical evidence appears. The outer world does not create your inner state. Rather, your inner state molds and shapes the outer world. When you are overcome with joy, the world appears brighter. Even mundane tasks seem effortless, and people respond to you with warmth and positivity. But when you are filled with fear or doubt, the world appears hostile. Every situation feels like a struggle, and even small inconveniences seem overwhelming. The difference is not in the world itself, but in the emotional state you carry within. If emotions have the power to shape your moment-to-moment experience, imagine their effect when sustained over time. The person who constantly feels unworthy will find life reflecting that belief back to them. They will attract circumstances that confirm their feelings of lack, reinforcing their assumption that they are not good enough. But the one who feels deserving, who lives in the state of already having what they desire, will move through life with confidence, and the world must conform to that inner certainty. To manifest anything, you must first accept it emotionally. This is the true key. You do not wait for external proof to feel successful. You assume the feeling of success now. You do not wait for love to come before feeling loved. You generate the feeling of being cherished in the present moment. When you persist in these feelings, reality has no choice but to bring you experiences that match. Many fail because they attempt to affirm new beliefs while still feeling the lack of them. They say the words but do not allow themselves to feel the truth behind them. They affirm wealth but feel poor. They speak of love but feel lonely, and so their reality does not change because the subconscious does not respond to empty words. It responds to feelings. This is why imagination is such a powerful tool. If you can close your eyes and fully immerse yourself in the experience of having your desire, feeling it as if it were real, your subconscious mind will accept it as truth. The more real it feels, the more quickly it must externalize. When you practice this consistently, the world will shift to reflect your new state. This may feel unnatural, but with repetition, it becomes effortless. Just as a musician must practice until their instrument becomes an extension of them, you must practice dwelling in the feeling of your wish fulfilled until it becomes your natural state. Every time doubt arises, return to the feeling. Every time fear creeps in, remind yourself that what you feel deeply must manifest. You are never waiting for your desire, it is waiting for you to claim it. You do not need to chase or struggle. You simply need to embody the feeling of already having it. The moment you feel it real, without contradiction, The unseen forces of reality move to bring it into form. Feel the fulfillment now. Let the joy, the peace, and the certainty of your desired reality flood your being. When you do this, manifestation is not a question of if, it is a certainty. What you feel deeply and persistently is what you will inevitably experience in your world. The greatest illusion of this world is the belief that what is seen is more real than what is unseen. Yet everything you experience with your physical senses is merely the effect, not the cause. The true reality lies within you, in the thoughts you entertain, the emotions you cultivate, and the assumptions you hold. The unseen world, your imagination, your beliefs, your inner dialogue, is the source from which all physical manifestations arise. Look around at everything in your life right now. Your relationships, your finances, your circumstances. These are not random occurrences. They are reflections of your inner world, the outpicturing of the thoughts and assumptions you have consistently held, whether consciously or unconsciously. If you wish to change anything in your life, you must first change the unseen, the state of mind you dwell in day after day. Many believe they must fight against circumstances, work harder, or struggle to shift their reality, but effort alone, without an inner shift, is futile. You may push and force things to happen, but if your internal state contradicts your desires, your external world will always return to reflect your dominant beliefs. This is why people who strive for success while harboring deep feelings of unworthiness often find themselves self-sabotaging. They may achieve temporary victories, but their inner state eventually pulls them back to the level of their true belief. On the other hand, those who confidently assume success, even before any external validation, find opportunities flowing to them effortlessly. Their reality shifts not because of luck or external effort, but because they have first changed within. They have rewritten the unseen script of their lives, and the world merely follows suit. Your inner dialogue is the most powerful force shaping your reality. Every moment you are talking to yourself in your mind, consciously or unconsciously. What are you saying? Are you reinforcing old patterns of limitation, doubt, and fear? Or are you speaking as the person who already has what they desire? If you constantly tell yourself, "Things never work out for me," "I am always struggling," or "I will never find love," your subconscious mind accepts these statements as truth, and the world arranges itself accordingly. But when you change your inner dialogue, when you replace old limiting beliefs with new empowering ones, the external world has no choice but to shift in response. Begin telling yourself a new story. Instead of saying, "I am always struggling," say, "I am always provided for." Instead of "I am unworthy of love," affirm, "I am deeply loved and cherished." At first it may feel unnatural, but repetition is key. The subconscious does not distinguish between what is real and what is imagined. It simply accepts what you impress upon it through persistent thought and feeling. This is the power of the unseen. What you dwell on internally must become your experience externally. You do not need to manipulate circumstances or force things to happen. The moment you shift your internal state, your thoughts, your assumptions, and your emotions, you set in motion the forces that will reshape your world. Think of a seed planted in the ground. You do not see its roots forming beneath the soil, but in time it sprouts into something visible. The same is true for your thoughts and assumptions. The moment you change your inner state, the seed is planted. Even if nothing appears to change externally at first, trust that the unseen forces are at work. Persist in your new inner dialogue, and in time the outer world will catch up. What is unseen is more real than what is seen, because the unseen is the cause, while the seen is merely the effect. Reality is not something happening to you, it is something happening through you. The world is your mirror, reflecting back the state you consistently occupy. Change the cause, and the effect must follow. Shift your internal world, and your external world will shift in response. Speak your desire with conviction. Declare it as if it were already yours, as if it were an undeniable fact. Words are not just sounds, they are vibrations, carrying the power to shape the unseen forces of reality. Every word you speak is an affirmation, a decree that calls forth circumstances to align with your inner world. But speaking alone is not enough. You must believe, you must accept, without question, that what you have declared is already in motion, already unfolding, already yours. Doubt is the great destroyer of manifestation. It is not enough to merely state your desire if in the next breath you question whether it will come to pass. The moment you allow doubt to creep in, you cancel out the power of your words. It is like planting a seed in the soil and then digging it up every day to check if it is growing. No seed can take root under such conditions. The same is true for your desires. Once spoken, once declared, they must be left undisturbed, nurtured only by faith, not by fear or impatience. Belief is the bridge between the unseen and the seen. It is the unwavering knowing that what you have asked for is already on its way, even if there is no physical evidence yet. When you truly believe, you do not beg, you do not plead, and you do not chase. You simply expect. You walk through life with a quiet confidence, knowing that everything is being arranged perfectly in your favor. The how and the when are not your concern. Your only task is to remain in a state of fulfillment, to hold on to the feeling that what you desire is already yours. And then you must let go. This is where most people struggle. They speak their desires, they believe for a moment, but then they obsess over when it will happen, how it will come, and whether they are doing enough. This anxious energy only pushes the manifestation further away. Letting go does not mean giving up. It means surrendering control over the process and trusting that the unseen forces are working in ways beyond your comprehension. Imagine placing an order at a restaurant. Once you tell the waiter what you want, you do not follow him into the kitchen to ensure the chef prepares it correctly. You do not question whether the food will arrive. You simply trust that in time it will be served to you. The same principle applies to manifestation. Once you have spoken and believed, your only responsibility is to carry on with your life in the certainty that what you have ordered from the universe is already being prepared. Letting go is an act of supreme faith. It is the ability to release attachment to the outcome and instead rest in the knowing that all is unfolding as it should. The moment you release control, you make space for miracles. You remove resistance and allow things to come together in ways that your mind could never have orchestrated. The unseen forces do not operate on human logic. They work in divine precision, arranging circumstances and connections beyond what you can perceive. Those who master this process, speak, believe, and let go, find that manifestations unfold effortlessly. They do not struggle or force, they align. They live in expectation, not desperation. They move through life with a calm assurance, knowing that everything they desire is already on its way. Your words have power, your belief activates them, and your ability to let go allows them to manifest. Speak your desire with clarity, believe in it with unwavering certainty, and then release it, trusting that all things are moving in perfect harmony. When you live by this principle, you will see the unseen forces work in your favor, bringing your dreams into reality in ways more beautiful than you could have ever imagined. Everything you desire is already within your reach. The unseen forces are always working in your favor, shaping your reality according to your inner world. Your words hold power, speak with conviction. Your consciousness creates belief without doubt. The law of assumption is unbreakable. Live from the end, feel the fulfillment now. Emotion is the bridge to manifestation. The unseen is more real than the seen. Your external world is only a reflection. And finally, speak, believe, and let go. Trust that it is done. When you align your thoughts, words, and emotions with the reality you wish to experience, nothing can stand in the way of its manifestation. Stop looking for proof in the physical world before you believe. Create the belief first, and the proof will follow. You do not need to struggle, chase, or force anything. Shift within and the world must shift to match you. All that remains is for you to trust. Live in the knowing that what you desire is already yours. Walk with confidence, act as if, and remain unwavering in your faith. Reality is not happening to you, it is responding to you. You are the creator, the cause, the power behind it all. Thank you. There is a secret most people overlook, a truth so simple yet profoundly powerful. Your world moves according to your expectation. What you assume and persist in must take shape. Not tomorrow, not in some distant future, but today. You do not beg for what is already yours. You do not chase what is meant for you. Instead, you enter the state of receiving, effortless, relaxed, and sure. This is what I ask you to do 3 times a day, morning, midday, and night. Not as a struggle, not as a desperate plea, but as a deep, unwavering knowing. Expect it with certainty, not tomorrow, now. Expect it today. Relax in the knowledge that it is making its way to you in the most effortless way possible. Do this 3 times a day and watch what happens, not because you are making it happen, but because it has already happened. You are simply aligning yourself with it. Time is not real. It is only a construct of the mind. What you desire already exists in the unseen. The moment you shift into the state of having it, reality must rearrange itself to match you. So let go of waiting, let go of wondering how or when. Your only task is to relax and expect. 3 times a day, step into the version of yourself that has already received. What you assume to be true in your mind must be reflected in your world. This is not a theory nor a hopeful idea, it is law. Everything you see, everything you experience is simply a mirror reflecting back the assumptions you have persisted in over time. The world does not create for you, it simply projects what you have already accepted as real within yourself. Whether you are conscious of it or not, your assumptions shape the circumstances, people, and events in your life. The mind is a garden, and assumption is the seed. If you plant a seed with full expectation that it will grow, it must, for the soil does not discriminate. It does not argue, it simply receives and produces according to what has been planted. Likewise, the subconscious mind does not debate or resist. It accepts as true whatever you impress upon it with feeling. If you assume yourself to be healthy, successful, loved, and fulfilled, the world around you will shift to reflect that state of being. But if you assume difficulty, struggle, and lack, life will arrange itself to confirm those beliefs. The mistake most people make is assuming based on appearances. They look at their present conditions and accept them as the only truth. They react to what they see, and in doing so, reinforce it. But reality is not fixed. It is fluid, always taking shape according to the dominant impressions of the mind. If you assume that you are financially abundant, even when your bank account says otherwise, that assumption will take root and begin to materialize. The truth is, if you assume that you are loved, even when no one is currently expressing that love, your world must rearrange itself to bring that experience into your life. To assume is not to wish or to hope. Wishing implies lack, hoping suggests uncertainty. But assumption is different. It is the deep inner knowing that what you have claimed is already yours. It does not require proof. It does not seek validation. It simply accepts as fact that what is imagined will solidify into form. This is the key difference between those who manifest their desires with ease and those who struggle. Shop currently asked soldiers of India about gratitude, and they said they had many teachers who could not. The ones who succeed are not waiting for signs. They are living from the end, acting, thinking, and feeling as though their wish is already fulfilled. The power of assumption is absolute, but it requires unwavering persistence. A single assumption, held momentarily and then replaced by doubt, cannot produce results. It is the sustained belief, the repeated confirmation within, that brings about change. Every day you are reinforcing something within yourself, whether consciously or unconsciously. The question is, what are you reinforcing? Are you affirming a life of abundance, joy, and peace? Or are you affirming struggle, delay, and disappointment? Whatever you affirm consistently, you will see. To use this power effectively, you must assume and expect with certainty. You must carry yourself as if the reality you desire is already in motion, knowing that the world has no choice but to conform. The assumption precedes the evidence, not the other way around. If you wait for proof before believing, you will forever be trapped in a cycle of delay. Instead, take the bold step of accepting your desired reality as truth now. Assume it is done, not because you see it yet, but because you have declared it so. Your assumption is the cause and your world is the effect. It does not matter what anyone else believes. It does not matter what past experiences have told you. The only thing that matters is what you claim as true now. If you wish to change your life, change your assumption about it. See yourself as the person who already possesses all that you seek, and persist in that vision until the outer world catches up. It is law. It cannot fail. E primum nahito. The concept of time is one of the greatest illusions humanity has accepted as truth. We measure days, hours, and minutes, believing that events unfold in a linear sequence. But in reality, all that exists is this present moment. The past is nothing more than a memory, and the future is merely a projection of the mind. The only time that is real is now. Everything that has ever happened and everything that will ever happen exists within this eternal present. Most people live trapped by time, believing they must wait for their desires to unfold. They believe in processes, in steps, in gradual progress. They say, one day I will have what I want, or when the right conditions appear, I will be happy. But in doing so, they push their manifestations into an endless future that never arrives. By assuming that what they desire is always coming, but never here, they unknowingly keep it at a distance. For they do not realize that the key to instant manifestation lies in collapsing the illusion of time itself. To manifest effortlessly, one must understand that there is no waiting, no gap between desire and fulfillment. The only thing creating a delay is the belief in delay. The moment you assume that what you desire is already yours, you step outside of time and enter the realm of the absolute, where all things exist simultaneously. When you truly relax into the feeling of already having it, you remove the barriers that time imposes. You no longer wait for something to come. Instead, you claim it now, knowing that reality will rearrange itself to match your new assumption. Consider how effortlessly dreams unfold while you sleep. In a matter of moments, you can experience what seems like hours of events. You can meet people, travel to places, and witness things that in waking life would take years to occur. But within the dream, there is no sense of time as you know it, only the direct experience of what is imagined. This is a glimpse into how reality truly works. The external world appears slow and structured, only because we have conditioned ourselves to believe it must be so. But when you remove the mental chains of time, reality responds instantly. Many believe that certain things must take time. They think success must be built over years, that relationships must progress through stages, that healing requires long periods. But these beliefs are self-imposed limitations. What if you let go of the idea that things take time? What if you assume that what you desire is already complete, already existing, already yours? The moment you stop placing your desire in the future and claim it in the present, time ceases to be a factor. You collapse the delay. and what once seemed distant is drawn to you now. This is why relaxation is key. When you relax, you stop resisting. You stop measuring, waiting, and questioning. You simply know. You assume it is done, and in doing so, you align with the version of yourself that already has it. You step into the state of fulfillment, and reality has no choice but to reflect. Manifestation is not about effort, it is about alignment. It is about shifting into the version of yourself that already possesses what you seek. Time is an illusion, and the only thing keeping your desire from appearing instantly is your belief that it must take time. Let go of that belief. Assume it is done now. Live as though it is already yours. When you master this, you will realize that nothing is ever truly out of reach, because everything exists now. The key to manifesting anything in life is not struggle, effort, or force. It is the ability to feel with absolute certainty that your desire is already fulfilled. It is not enough to wish, to hope, or to want. These states imply lack. What is required is the deep inner knowing that what you have imagined is already yours, that it exists now, even if the physical world has yet to reflect it. This is the true secret of creation, and those who master it hold the power to shape their reality at will. Most people believe they must work tirelessly to achieve their desires, that they must fight against the odds, struggle through obstacles, and prove their worthiness before receiving what they want. But this is a misunderstanding of how reality works. Everything you see in your world is simply a reflection of your internal state. You do not attract what you want, you attract what you are, what you deeply assume to be true about yourself and your life. And the fastest way to change your external world is to change the way you feel within. To feel the wish fulfilled is to embody the state of already having. It is not about pretending or trying to convince yourself. It is about shifting into the version of yourself that already possesses the thing you seek. If wealth is your desire, you must feel wealthy now. If love is your desire, you must feel deeply loved now. If success is your desire, you must feel successful now. Not tomorrow, not someday, now. The external world has no choice but to conform to the inner world you consistently inhabit. This feeling of already having is what removes all barriers. When you feel as though you already possess your desire, there is no resistance, no doubt, no questioning. There is no desperation, no waiting, no wondering when or how it will come. You have already accepted it as fact, and when the mind accepts something as true, it naturally expresses that truth outwardly. Your actions, your words, your energy shift effortlessly, and soon the world must respond in kind. But the mistake many make is allowing their senses to dictate their beliefs. They look at their current reality and say, "I don't have it yet, so I cannot feel it." But the outer world is nothing more than a delayed reflection of the inner world. If you continue to react to what is, you will continue to create more of the same. The true power lies in assuming the feeling of the wish fulfilled before any physical evidence appears. It is this assumption that brings it into being. Think of a time when you anticipated something wonderful, perhaps a long-awaited vacation, a reunion with someone you love, or a special event. Even before it happened, you felt the excitement, the joy, the certainty that it was on its way. That feeling colored your days, uplifted your spirit, and changed how you move through life. This is the exact state you must embody when manifesting. In this, you must feel the same certainty about your desire as you would about an event already scheduled on your calendar. The easiest way to do this is to enter a state of relaxation, quiet your mind, and imagine yourself already in possession of what you desire. Do not just see it, feel it. What emotions arise? What does it feel like to have it, to be it, to live it? Let that feeling take over you completely. Immerse yourself in the sensation of fulfillment and do not step out of it. Carry that state with you throughout your day, returning to it whenever doubt creeps in. This is the true work. Training yourself to dwell in the state of already having. Once you master this, manifestation becomes effortless. The world must yield to your assumption, because the external is always a servant to the internal. So let go of effort, struggle, and worry. Feel the wish fulfilled now and watch as your reality transforms before your eyes. The mind is like a garden. Whatever you plant within it, whether consciously or unconsciously, will take root and grow. Most people allow their minds to be filled with weeds, doubts, fears, and limiting beliefs, without realizing that they have the power to cultivate the reality they truly desire. The key to transformation is repetition. What you impress upon your subconscious mind over and over again becomes your truth. This is why doing this practice 3 times a day is so powerful. It is not about forcing change, but about gently reconditioning the mind to accept a new reality as normal, as inevitable. The subconscious mind does not distinguish between what is real and what is imagined. It accepts whatever is repeatedly impressed upon it. This is why many people find themselves stuck in the same patterns, because they unconsciously reaffirm the same beliefs day after day. If you constantly think thoughts of lack, struggle, and limitation, you are planting seeds that will continue to bear fruit in your life. But if you deliberately and consistently assume the reality you wish to experience, you begin to overwrite the old programming and create a new mental blueprint. When you assume something to be true, even before physical evidence appears, you are engaging in the process of creation. But assumption alone is not enough. It must be reinforced. A single thought or feeling, no matter how powerful, may not be enough to shift deeply ingrained beliefs. The subconscious mind is shaped through repetition. Just as a muscle grows stronger through consistent training, the mind becomes attuned to new beliefs through continuous reinforcement. This is why practicing this assumption 3 times a day is essential: morning, midday, and night. Each session serves to reinforce the new state of being. In the morning, as you wake, your mind is in a highly suggestible state. This is the perfect time to impress your assumption. Midday, when the distractions of the world begin to pull you back into old patterns, you remind yourself again of your chosen reality. And at night, before sleep, you impress your subconscious one final time, allowing it to work on your behalf as you rest. Each time you engage in this practice, do not merely think about your desire, feel it. Immerse yourself in the sensation of already having it. If wealth is your goal, feel the ease, security, and freedom of financial abundance. If love is your desire, feel the warmth, joy, and connection of already being deeply cherished. If success is what you seek, feel the confidence, fulfillment, and recognition of having already achieved. The feeling is what imprints the assumption into the subconscious. The stronger and more natural the feeling, the faster reality shifts to reflect it. Some may wonder, why 3 times a day? Why not once? The answer lies in the nature of the mind. We live in a world that constantly reinforces the illusion of external reality. From the moment you wake up, you are bombarded with stimuli that attempt to dictate what is possible for you. News, social media, conversations, all of these can subtly reaffirm old limitations if you are not vigilant. By returning to your assumption multiple times a day, you ensure that your mind does not drift back into old habits. You create a momentum that builds with each repetition, making it easier for your subconscious to accept the new belief as truth. This practice is not about forcing or obsessing. It is about saturating your mind with a new reality until it becomes second nature. The subconscious mind loves consistency. It responds to what is repeated with feeling. This is why affirmations, visualization, and inner conversations must be done persistently. A single drop of water does not shape a rock, but the steady, repeated flow over time creates transformation. The moment the new assumption feels natural, the outer world begins to shift. Suddenly, opportunities arise, doors open, and synchronicities occur that confirm what you have assumed. This is not coincidence. It is the natural response of reality to the new state of being you have claimed. So, commit to this practice. 3 times a day, step into the feeling of already having your desire. Do not analyze, do not question, simply assume and feel. Let repetition rewire your mind, and soon, what once seemed distant will become your lived reality. Doubt is the only thing standing between you and your desire. It is not time, circumstances, or any external force that delays your manifestation. It is the resistance created by your own uncertainty. When you doubt, you send conflicting signals to your subconscious mind. One moment you affirm that your desire is already yours, and the next you question when or how it will come. This back and forth creates resistance, slowing down the process or even preventing it altogether. Letting go of doubt is not about convincing yourself with logic or forcing yourself to believe. It is about relaxing into the certainty that what you have assumed is already done. Imagine placing an order at a restaurant. You do not sit at the table anxiously wondering whether the food will arrive. You do not check with the waiter every 5 minutes, questioning whether the kitchen is really preparing your meal. You simply expect it, knowing that it is on its way. This is the attitude you must adopt with your desires. Absolute trust that what you have assumed will manifest at the perfect time. Doubt arises when you look at the external world for validation. If your desire has not yet appeared in physical form, you might feel tempted to question whether it is really coming. But this is the greatest mistake you can make. The outer world is merely a reflection of your past thoughts, emotions, and assumptions. If you continue to react to what is, you will only reinforce the same reality. The key is to persist in your inner knowing, regardless of what appears in the physical world. Relaxation is the antidote to doubt. When you relax, you allow. When you allow, you receive. Think of how effortlessly things flow into your life when you are in a state of ease and confidence. Have you ever noticed that the things you desperately chase after seem to run away from you, while the things you feel indifferent or at peace about tend to come easily? This is because desperation creates resistance, while relaxation creates a state of openness. When you stop resisting, you make space for your desire to flow naturally into your life. Letting go of doubt does not mean you suppress your thoughts or pretend that uncertainty does not exist. Instead, you acknowledge doubt and then choose not to engage with it. When a doubtful thought arises, simply recognize it and shift your focus back to the feeling of already having your desire. Do not fight it, simply redirect. This is the practice of mastering your mind, training it to dwell only on the reality you wish to experience. One of the most powerful ways to dissolve doubt is to embody the state of already having. If you had your desire right now, would you question whether it was coming? Would you worry about the details? No, you would simply enjoy it, confident in its presence. Adopt this mindset now. Walk through your day as though your wish is already fulfilled. Let this feeling of certainty. Another effective way to release resistance is to remind yourself that the universe is always working in your favor. Just as the sun rises each day without your effort, just as your heart beats without you controlling it, the process of manifestation unfolds naturally when you trust it. Your role is not to struggle or force, but to assume, feel, and allow. Faith is not something you have to create, it is something you return to. Deep within you, there is already a knowing that you are the creator of your reality, that your assumptions shape your world. Doubt is nothing more than a habit, a conditioned response based on past experiences. But you are no longer bound by the past. The moment you decide to let go of doubt, you free yourself from all limits. So relax, trust, feel your wish as already fulfilled. Do not chase, do not beg, do not question. Simply know. Let go of all resistance and watch as your desire unfolds effortlessly before you. When you live as if it is already done, you align yourself with a reality where your desire has manifested. You are no longer hoping, waiting, or wondering when it will come. You are embodying the version of yourself that already has it. This is the key to effortless manifestation. The universe responds to who you are being, not just what you are asking for. When your thoughts, emotions, and actions reflect the assumption that your desire is already yours, reality has no choice but to conform. Most people approach manifestation from a state of lack. They desire something but continue to think, feel, and act as though they do not have it. This contradiction creates resistance. If you constantly affirm that you want something, you are reinforcing the fact that you do not yet have it. But when you shift your state of being, when you start thinking, feeling, and behaving as if your desire is already a present reality, you step into alignment with it. Living as if it is done does not mean pretending or forcing yourself to believe. It means embodying the natural confidence of someone who already has what they desire. If you had your dream job right now, how would you feel? How would you carry yourself? What kind of thoughts would you think? How would you speak about your life? You would not be worrying about whether the job is coming. You would already be experiencing it. You would wake up with excitement, walk with certainty, and feel secure in your success. This is the state you must assume before the physical evidence appears. Emotion is the key to this transformation. The subconscious mind does not respond to empty words, it responds to feelings. When you deeply feel the joy, gratitude, and relief of already having your desire, you impress this reality onto your subconscious. And once the subconscious accepts something is true, the external world shifts to match it. Instead of waiting for your circumstances to change so that you can feel differently, change how you feel now and your circumstances will follow. So, your actions must also align with your assumption. This does not mean forcing yourself to take unnecessary steps or working harder to make something happen. It means naturally behaving in ways that reflect your new reality. A person who is wealthy does not constantly check their bank account in fear. A person who is deeply loved does not doubt whether they are wanted. A person who is successful does not question their own worth. Align your daily actions with the truth that your desire is already fulfilled. One of the simplest ways to live as if it is done is to shift your inner conversations. Throughout the day, observe the way you speak to yourself. Are you mentally reinforcing the old reality, or are you affirming the new one? The words you say to yourself shape your perception, and your perception shapes your world. Begin to speak as though you already have what you want. Replace thoughts of doubt with thoughts of certainty. Instead of thinking, I hope it happens, say to yourself, it is already mine. Another powerful practice is to immerse yourself in the feeling of your fulfilled desire before sleep. The state you enter before sleep is deeply impressionable to the subconscious mind. As you lie in bed, imagine yourself already living your desired reality. Feel it as vividly as possible. If your wish is to be in a loving relationship, feel the warmth, connection, and presence of your partner beside you. If your desire is financial abundance, feel the security and freedom that wealth brings. Let this be the last impression you leave on your subconscious before drifting into sleep. Doubt has no place in this process. The moment you begin to question when or how it will happen, you step out of alignment. There is no need to seek confirmation from the external world. The only confirmation you need is the feeling within you. When you truly live as if it is done, you no longer need to ask if it is coming. You already know. And when you know, it must appear. This is not about tricking the universe. It is about understanding that creation is finished. Every possibility already exists. The moment you assume your desired state and live from it, you shift into the reality where it is already true. The world then rearranges itself to reflect your new assumption. So begin now. Live as though it is already done. Carry yourself with the confidence of one who has already received. Feel it, act upon it, and refuse to entertain any thought that contradicts it. The moment you fully align with your desired reality, it manifests effortlessly. The key to manifestation is not in struggle, force, or endless waiting. It is in the effortless alignment with the reality you wish to experience. Your assumption is law. What you deeply accept as true must reflect in your world. Time is an illusion, and the only moment that exists is now. When you relax and assume it is done, you collapse time and allow your desire to manifest instantly. The secret is in the feeling of the wish fulfilled, and not in effort, but in deep inner knowing. Repetition rewires the mind, reinforcing the new reality until it becomes second nature. The subconscious responds to consistency, and what you persist in assuming becomes your truth. Doubt is the only barrier. When you let go of resistance and trust the process, your desires flow effortlessly into your life. You must live as if it is already done, aligning your thoughts, emotions, and actions with your fulfilled state. The universe mirrors your state of being, and when you truly embody your desire, reality has no choice but to conform. Everything you seek is already yours. The moment you relax, trust, and expect, you remove all barriers. Assume, feel, and allow. It is already done. Thank you. There is a secret known to those who live in abundance. A secret so simple that most people overlook it. The truth is this: what you see and engage with daily shapes the reality you experience. If you desire wealth, you must make wealth familiar to your mind. Imagine this: each day you wake up and see money sitting on your table, a crisp bill, a golden coin, something tangible, something real. It is not there as decoration, nor as a mere object. It is there as a seed, a symbol, a living affirmation that wealth is already yours. Most people believe they must chase money, work tirelessly for it, beg for opportunities. But those who understand the nature of reality know a greater truth. Money is drawn to those who assume its presence. You must see it, feel it, and live in the awareness that it is always flowing into your life. Your subconscious mind absorbs what it repeatedly seeks. If your table holds money, your mind begins to accept it as normal, and what is normal becomes effortless. What is effortless multiplies. This is why the wealthy never think in terms of lack, because wealth is their natural state. It is not something they strive for, it is something they expect. So take this simple act. Place money where you can see it, not out of desperation, not as a wish, but as a quiet, confident acknowledgement that abundance is already yours. Each time your eyes fall upon it, let it serve as a reminder: money comes easily, effortlessly, and continuously. Do not dismiss this as trivial. The smallest shift in perception can open floodgates of prosperity. The moment you stop seeing money as something distant and start recognizing it as already present, you align with its endless flow. What you assume to be true in consciousness will manifest in your world. This is an eternal law, unchanging and absolute. The outer world you experience is nothing more than a mirror reflecting back to you the assumptions you hold within. Most people live under the illusion that circumstances shape their beliefs, but the truth is quite the opposite. Your beliefs shape your circumstances. When you assume wealth, wealth must come. When you assume struggle, struggle must persist. Consider the simple act of keeping money on your table. At first glance, it may seem insignificant, but within it lies a powerful truth: that money, placed where your eyes can see it daily, is more than just an object. It is a symbol, a seed planted in the fertile soil of your subconscious mind. It is a statement to yourself, a silent decree that money is not something distant, not something rare, but something present, something natural, something already yours. Most people unknowingly assume lack. They do not realize that every sigh of frustration, every moment of worry, every glance at an empty wallet reinforces the belief that money is scarce. They may desire wealth, but deep within they assume struggle, and because they assume it, they experience it. The world does not bring them what they wish for, it brings them what they expect, what they accept as true, what they assume to be real. But what happens when you deliberately shift your assumption? What happens when instead of confirming lack, you affirm abundance? The very act of seeing money in your space begins to change something deep within. It tells your subconscious that wealth is not something you chase, it is something you already possess. And once that belief takes root, reality must reshape itself to match it. Your subconscious does not question, it does not argue, it does not rationalize, it simply accepts and reflects. If it sees money as a normal, present reality, it will work tirelessly to ensure that this assumption is maintained. Opportunities will arise where none seemed to exist before. Unexpected financial blessings will flow to you effortlessly. You will find yourself making decisions, taking actions, and aligning with circumstances that bring money with ease. It is not luck nor coincidence. It is the law in motion. The greatest mistake people make is believing they must first see evidence of wealth before they can assume it. But the process is reversed. You must first assume it, and then you will see the evidence. Keeping money where you can see it is a simple yet profound way to shift this assumption. It is a constant, quiet reminder that abundance is your natural state. With time, this practice dissolves the old conditioning of lack and replaces it with an unshakable certainty that money is always flowing to you. Nothing in your life changes until you change what you accept as true. If you assume money is difficult to acquire, it will always evade you. But if you assume that wealth is yours, that money is drawn to you with ease, then it must become your experience. The key is to hold this assumption unwaveringly, to live from the state of already having, to trust in the unseen before it becomes seen. Let that money on your table be more than just paper or coin. Let it be a declaration. Let it be proof of the wealth that is already unfolding in your life. Let it remind you day after day that abundance is not something you wait for, it is something you claim, here and now. Your subconscious mind is the silent architect of your reality. It does not question, it does not argue, and it does not differentiate between what is real and what is imagined. It simply absorbs and reflects. What you repeatedly see, hear, and experience becomes embedded within it, forming the foundation of your beliefs. These beliefs, whether consciously chosen or unconsciously accepted, dictate the circumstances of your life. Money, like anything else, is deeply connected to the patterns of thoughts stored within your subconscious. If you have lived in an environment where money was always scarce, where conversations revolved around struggle, where financial hardship was the norm, then your subconscious mind has accepted those conditions as reality. Without conscious intervention, it will continue to produce the same results, for it knows no other way. But what if you could reprogram it? What if, instead of reinforcing scarcity, you could train your mind to accept wealth as a natural and ever-present part of your life? This is where the power of symbols comes in. Your subconscious does not understand abstract concepts the way your logical mind does. It responds to what it sees, what it touches, and what it interacts with daily. This is why the simple act of placing money where you see it often can begin to shift your financial reality. When money is always present in your physical environment, your subconscious begins to accept it as a normal part of life. It is no longer something distant or difficult to obtain. It is there, in front of you, real and tangible. With each passing day, the idea of financial abundance is impressed deeper into your mind, dissolving old patterns of lack and replacing them with new patterns of prosperity. Most people only see money when they need to spend it. Their interaction with it is fleeting and often tied to stress or obligation. They withdraw it from their wallets, hand it over, and watch it disappear. To the subconscious, this reinforces the idea that money is something that leaves, something that must be chased, something that is never quite enough. But when money is always present, when it sits on your table, in your space, in your field of vision, it tells a different story. It tells your mind that money is here, that it stays, that it is part of your reality. Over time, this simple visual reinforcement creates a profound internal shift. Without effort, without struggle, your mind begins to expect money, and what you expect, you receive. You will find yourself making different choices, attracting new opportunities, and experiencing financial growth without force or strain. It is not magic, it is the natural response of your subconscious aligning with what it has been trained to believe. Most people underestimate the power of their surroundings. They do not realize that the images, symbols, and objects they interact with daily are shaping their deepest assumptions. But those who understand this principle use it to their advantage. They surround themselves with symbols of the life they wish to create, and in doing so, they impress upon their subconscious the reality they desire. Let the money on your table be more than just paper. Let it be a tool, a message, a signal to your mind that wealth is always within reach. Let it serve as a daily reminder that financial flow is natural, effortless, and continuous. And as your subconscious absorbs this truth, your outer world will begin to reflect it in ways you never imagined. Wealth is not something you chase, it is something you assume. The moment you feel yourself to be prosperous, wealth begins to move toward you. It does not happen by accident, nor by struggle, but by alignment with the state of already having. When you hold money, see it and engage with it in your physical space, you are not simply interacting with paper and coin. You are impressing upon your subconscious the feeling of abundance, and what you feel is real will be reflected in your world. Most people live in a constant state of longing. They want money, they need money, but they do not feel as if they already have it. Their emotions and thoughts are consumed by lack, and without realizing it, they push wealth further away. The subconscious mind does not respond to wishes. It responds to states of being. If you feel poor, if you believe money is something separate from you, your reality must match that assumption. But when you feel as though you already possess it, the outer world bends to confirm that truth. This is why engaging with money physically is so powerful. When you hold it in your hands, when you see it resting on your table, when you interact with it daily, it becomes familiar to you. The feeling of possessing wealth becomes natural, and the subconscious mind accepts it as a normal state. And once something is accepted as normal, it multiplies effortlessly. Think of how people who struggle financially react when they receive money. They grasp it tightly, afraid it will disappear. They see it as fleeting, something that comes and goes, never something that stays. But those who live in abundance interact with money differently. They do not see it as something rare or difficult to obtain. They see it as an extension of themselves, as something that flows in and out freely, always returning in greater measure. They are relaxed around money, and because they feel at ease with it, it continues to flow to them. You can train yourself into this state by deliberately engaging with money as if you already have all you need. Place it where you can see it, handle it often, and most importantly, feel gratitude for its presence. Do not look at it with desperation, but with certainty. Do not see it as something you must fight to keep, but as something that belongs to you naturally. The moment you stop treating money as a rare guest and begin treating it as a permanent resident, it will begin to stay. Your feelings are the gateway to your manifestations. If you can feel rich before the evidence appears, the evidence must come. You can generate the emotions of financial security before the money arrives, the money must arrive. The key is to immerse yourself in the experience of having, even when the outer world tells a different story. The outer world is only a reflection. It is the inner world that creates. By holding money, by seeing it in your space, by engaging with it as something already yours, you shift from a state of lack to a state of abundance. And when you live from that state, the universe has no choice but to align with it. The feeling of wealth must come before the wealth itself. But once you have claimed it internally, the external world must follow. Your mind is a powerful creator, shaping your reality based on what you consistently focus on. Whatever dominates your attention expands, whether it is wealth or lack, abundance or struggle. If your thoughts are filled with the fear of not having enough, your subconscious will continue to reflect that experience back to you. But if your focus is on prosperity, if you train your mind to see money as something ever-present and abundant, then abundance must manifest in your life. How most people unknowingly keep themselves in a cycle of financial struggle because they give their energy to lack. They check their bank accounts with anxiety, speak about how little they have, and feel the weight of every expense. Without realizing it, they reinforce the very condition they wish to escape. The subconscious mind does not understand wishes or complaints. It only responds to the energy you repeatedly impress upon it. If your dominant focus is on not having enough, then that becomes your reality. But you can shift this. You can redirect your focus toward wealth and abundance, and by doing so, you change what your subconscious accepts as true. One of the simplest ways to do this is by placing money where you can see it daily. When money is in your environment, when it is something you regularly engage with, it signals to your mind that abundance is normal. It no longer feels distant or unattainable. It becomes part of your everyday reality. So, imagine two people. One person rarely sees money, only interacting with it when paying bills or making a purchase. To them, money is something that disappears quickly, something that is always in short supply. The other person, however, keeps money visible in their home. They handle it, appreciate it, and acknowledge its presence. To them, money is something that stays, something that flows easily, something they are accustomed to having. Which of these two individuals is more likely to attract financial abundance? The one whose subconscious has been trained to accept wealth as a normal part of life. Their focus is on having, not on lacking. And because what you focus on expands, their external world must rearrange itself to reflect their inner assumption. This is not wishful thinking. It is the law of consciousness in action. When your dominant thoughts and emotions are centered on prosperity, you naturally attract opportunities, ideas, and circumstances that align with that reality. You begin to make different choices, take inspired actions, and move with the confidence of someone who already possesses wealth. The universe responds not to desperation, but to certainty. Most people believe they will feel abundant once they have money. But the truth is, you must feel abundant first, and then the money comes. The feeling precedes the manifestation. This is why focusing on money's presence rather than its absence is so critical. By keeping it in your space, by acknowledging it daily, you train your mind to see financial flow as a normal, expected part of life. And once your mind fully accepts this, your world will reflect it in ways you never imagined. So shift your focus. Let your attention rest on abundance rather than lack. Notice and appreciate the money you do have, no matter how small. Keep it visible, engage with it, feel gratitude for it. As you do, you will find that what you focus on truly does expand. And money will begin to appear in your life with ease. Money is not something you chase, it is something you attract. It is not a product of endless struggle, but of alignment with the energy of abundance. The greatest misconception people have is that wealth is purely the result of hard work. They believe that by exhausting themselves, by constantly pushing and striving, they will finally achieve financial security. But true wealth is not determined by effort alone. It is shaped by your state of being. It is the result of the energy you radiate, the beliefs you hold, and the assumptions you accept as true. Everything in this universe operates on energy, including money. It flows naturally to those who align with its frequency and moves away from those who dwell in lack, fear, and desperation. Look around and you will see that some people work tirelessly and still struggle, while others seem to attract wealth effortlessly. This is not luck or chance, it is a reflection of consciousness. Those who believe money is difficult to obtain, who associate it with suffering, unknowingly repel it. But those who feel at ease with wealth, who expect it, who see themselves as financially secure, naturally draw it in. Your mind is the magnet that either pulls money toward you or pushes it away. If you constantly think of scarcity, if you fear bills, if you stress over every expense, you are radiating the energy of lack. And because your outer world is only a reflection of your inner world, financial difficulties will persist. But the moment you shift your focus and begin to embody the energy of abundance, everything changes. Money begins to flow in ways you never expected. Opportunities arise effortlessly. Resources come to you without strain. The universe rearranges itself to match the vibration you hold within. This is why some of the wealthiest people in the world seem to work less yet earn more. It is not because they are lucky, but because they have mastered the art of alignment. They do not see money as something scarce or difficult. They see it as an ever-present force, something that flows naturally to them. They have assumed themselves to be wealthy long before the physical evidence appeared. And because they held that assumption, the wealth had no choice but to manifest. You must do the same. You must let go of the belief that money only comes through struggle. Instead, cultivate the feeling of already having it. Act as if you are already wealthy. Speak, think, and move as someone who is financially free. Train your mind to see abundance in everything around you. Feel gratitude for what you have, no matter how small, and you will find that the more you appreciate, the more you attract. His is subliminal magic. Money is not about effort, it is about flow. It does not respond to desperation, but to certainty. When you radiate confidence in your financial well-being, money will be drawn to you like a magnet. The key is to embody abundance now, not later. Stop waiting for external proof. Create the feeling within, and the proof will come. Wealth is an energy, and once you align with it, it will move toward you effortlessly. Pick your vitality, pick your bon appetit, pick your chaos, pick your waking life. Wealth is not something you wait for, it is something you embody. It is not a distant goal to be achieved, but a state of consciousness to be lived in now. The greatest mistake people make is believing they will feel wealthy only when the money arrives. They tell themselves that once they have financial security, they will relax, feel confident, and experience ease. But this thinking is backward. You must first assume the state of wealth internally, and only then will your outer world rearrange itself to match that assumption. Your reality is a reflection of the state you consistently occupy. If you live in the state of lack, worrying about money, doubting its arrival, or fearing expenses, your external world will mirror that scarcity. But if you make the decision to dwell in the feeling of financial abundance, to act, think, and move as someone who is already prosperous, then wealth must manifest in your life. The outer world cannot help but reflect the inner state you maintain. One simple yet powerful way to affirm your financial abundance is by keeping money visible in your environment. Most people only see money when they are spending it, which reinforces the idea that money is fleeting and always leaving. But when you place money in your space, not as something to be used, but as a symbol of wealth, you are telling your subconscious mind that money is present, that it stays, that it flows continuously. This small act shifts your mental state from one of scarcity to one of possession. Imagine entering a room where money is always in sight, on your desk, in your wallet, placed neatly on a table. Every time your eyes land on it, you are reminded of its presence. You begin to associate your surroundings with financial security. The more you see money, the more natural it feels to have it, and the more your subconscious accepts abundance as your reality. And because what you assume to be true must express itself in your world, money will begin to flow to you effortlessly. The key is to live in the end state of wealth, to assume it so fully that it becomes second nature. This does not mean reckless spending or pretending to be rich while drowning in debt. It means embodying the energy of someone who is financially free, moving through life with confidence, making decisions from a place of abundance rather than fear, and trusting that money is always available when needed. It means shifting from a mindset of I need more to I already have. Think of the people who attract wealth with ease. They do not obsess over money, they expect it. They do not operate from desperation, they move with certainty. Their belief in their financial well-being is so firm that their reality has no choice but to conform. They do not wait for proof, they create it through their state of being. You must do the same. Train yourself to feel wealthy now. Walk with the confidence of someone who has more than enough. See money as something that stays with you, that flows in and out effortlessly, always returning in greater amounts. As you maintain this state, your outer world will adjust accordingly. Wealth is not something you chase, it is something you align with. And once you do, it will manifest in your life with ease. Take a boredom in your heart. Wealth is not a matter of luck or endless struggle. It is a state of mind, a consciousness that shapes the reality you experience. When you assume abundance, when you impress it upon your subconscious, when you see money as a natural and constant presence in your life, it must manifest. Your thoughts, feelings, and beliefs dictate what you receive. If you focus on scarcity, you will experience lack. But if you align yourself with the energy of financial freedom, money will flow to you effortlessly. By keeping money visible, by engaging with it daily, and by living in the end state of wealth, you condition your mind to accept prosperity as your reality. The subconscious responds to repetition, to symbols, and to deeply held assumptions. And once you convince yourself that abundance is yours, the outer world must conform to your belief. Money is not something to fear, chase, or struggle for. It is something to allow, to welcome, and to expect with certainty. Live as though financial freedom is already yours. Walk with confidence. Think with assurance, and move with ease. The more you embody this truth, the more your reality will reflect it. Wealth is not outside of you, it is within, waiting for you to claim it. Thank you. There comes a time when words are no longer necessary, when your explanations are wasted and your presence is undervalued. That is when silence becomes your greatest ally. Most people fear silence because it demands strength. It requires trust in something unseen, something beyond the physical world. But the wise know that silence holds more power than words ever could. When you cut all contacts, you are not running away, you are realigning. You are shifting your energy from the external to the internal, from the noise of the world to the quiet authority within. Every great transformation begins with withdrawal. Just as the caterpillar isolates itself before becoming a butterfly, so too must you step away from everything that no longer serves you. Do not beg, do not explain, and do not chase. The moment you remove yourself, the world will feel your absence. People who once ignored you will begin to wonder. Those who took you for granted will start to question. But you must not return. Let them feel the void. Understand this. Your presence is a gift, and your energy is precious. It is not meant to be scattered among those who do not value it. Be silent, not because you have nothing to say, but because you have nothing to prove. Cut all contacts not out of spite, but out of wisdom. Those who truly belong in your life will find a way to reach you. The rest were never meant to stay. True transformation begins the moment you release attachments to people, places, and things that no longer serve your highest good. Detachment is not indifference, nor is it coldness. Rather, it is the highest form of self-mastery. It is the understanding that nothing outside of you defines who you are, and no external circumstance has power over your inner world unless you allow it. Many live their lives shackled to the past, entangled in relationships that drain them, in memories that haunt them, or in expectations that were never theirs to fulfill. They hold on to people out of fear of loneliness, to places out of familiarity, and to ideas that have long ceased to nurture them. But the one who truly seeks freedom must be willing to let go, not with resentment, not with bitterness, but with the quiet assurance that something greater awaits beyond what is being released. Silence is not weakness, it is your greatest strength. The world may tempt you to react, to explain, to fight for your place in people's lives, but the wise understand that true power does not beg for recognition. True power does not seek validation, it simply is. To detach means to step back, to no longer be a puppet to the emotions, expectations, or demands of others. It is to stand in your own energy, knowing that everything meant for you will find its way effortlessly, without force or struggle. When you detach, you create space, and in that space the universe moves. What was once clouded by neediness, attachment, and desperation suddenly becomes clear. You begin to see who truly values you, who was only there for convenience, and what was merely an illusion of security. Silence teaches you this. It forces you into the present moment, where truth reveals itself, without the distortion of words, arguments, or justification. People often mistake detachment for a lack of love, but in reality, it is the deepest form of self-love. To detach is to honor yourself, to refuse to settle for anything that does not align with your highest good. It is the recognition that you are whole with or without anyone else, that your peace does not come from external circumstances, but from within. The world moves in cycles, and everything has its season. Some connections are meant to be temporary, some places only serve a purpose for a time, and some versions of yourself must be shed like old skin. To cling to what no longer resonates with you is to resist growth, to hold on to a version of yourself that is trying to evolve into something greater. Detachment allows you to step into the unknown with faith rather than fear, knowing that what is meant for you cannot be lost, and what is lost was never truly meant to stay. You will know the moment you must walk away. The energy will no longer feel right. The conversations will drain rather than uplift. The presence of certain people will feel heavy instead of fulfilling. That is the sign. When you feel it, do not resist, do not explain, do not seek closure where none is needed. Simply let go, in silence, with grace, and with the unshakable knowing that the path ahead is far greater than anything left behind. When you stop explaining, defending, or seeking validation, you open yourself to the infinite intelligence within. The world conditions you to believe that you must always speak, justify, and prove your worth. But the truth is, the most powerful transformations happen in silence. It is in the quiet that you align with the divine, that you come into harmony with the unseen forces shaping your reality. Silence is not emptiness, it is fullness. It is the space where wisdom speaks without words, where answers arrive without being chased, and where clarity emerges without struggle. The more you embrace silence, the more you begin to hear what was always present but drowned out by the noise of the world. You begin to understand that reality is not shaped by external arguments, explanations, or pleas, but by the stillness of your inner conviction. When you stop explaining yourself to others, you take back your power. The need to justify your actions or decisions comes from a place of insecurity, from a belief that your truth is not enough unless it is accepted by others. But the one who is truly aligned knows that truth does not require validation. The moment you let go of the need to convince, you stepped into a space of quiet confidence, where your presence alone becomes enough. Defending yourself is often an illusion of control. You believe that if you can just make someone understand, if you can just argue your point well enough, you can change their perception. But perception is shaped by the mind of the perceiver, not by the force of your words. When you are silent, you allow energy to speak for you. You allow your actions, your results, and the quiet knowing within you to shape the reality around you. Seeking validation is a form of self-abandonment. It is placing your worth in the hands of others, waiting for their approval before you believe in yourself. But the divine does not require external confirmation, it simply is. The moment you stop searching for validation, you align with that same divine certainty. You become untouchable, immovable, a force so steady that nothing external can shake you. Silence connects you to the source of all things. It is through silence that intuition strengthens, that inspiration flows, and that divine timing unfolds. When you stop filling the space with unnecessary words, you allow higher wisdom to guide you. You begin to see beyond the distractions, beyond the illusions, and into the deeper reality of your own power. The unseen forces shaping your life do not respond to noise, they respond to faith. And faith is found in stillness. It is found in the quiet moments where you stop chasing and start trusting, where you stop reacting and start knowing. When you align with silence, you align with creation itself. You become the calm in the storm, the observer rather than the reactor, the one who moves in certainty rather than doubt. The world may tell you to speak louder, to fight harder, to prove yourself endlessly, but true mastery is found in the opposite. It is found in knowing when to say nothing, when to allow things to unfold, when to let energy speak instead of words. When you embrace silence, you embrace the divine within you. You step into a power that is unshaken by opinions, unmoved by resistance, and unquestionable in its certainty. In silence, you are whole. In silence, you are free. Your presence, your focus, and your inner convictions shape the world around you. Long before you speak, before you take action, before you express yourself in words, your energy has already communicated everything about you. It is not what you say that holds power. It is what you believe, what you embody, and what you radiate. Energy never lies. It is the silent force that determines how people respond to you, the unseen influence that shapes your reality. Most people exhaust themselves trying to explain, trying to convince, trying to force understanding. But those who understand the power of energy know that words are secondary. When you carry certainty within you, when you stand firm in your truth, you do not need to argue, beg, or plead. People feel it. They sense your strength without a single word being spoken. This is why those who master their energy master their lives. Your focus is your power. Whatever you give your attention to, you energize. If you are constantly engaging with people who drain you, giving time to situations that disrupt your peace, or explaining yourself to those who will never understand, you are scattering your energy. But the moment you withdraw, the moment you stop feeding these distractions, something remarkable happens. You reclaim your power. You shift from reacting to creating. You stop allowing external forces to dictate your state of being, and instead, you become the force that influences everything around you. By cutting unnecessary contact, you free yourself from invisible chains. Many connections exist out of habit, obligation, or fear of solitude. But not all connections serve your growth. Some keep you locked in cycles of frustration, self-doubt, and emotional exhaustion. Every interaction carries an exchange of energy. Some uplift you, inspire you, and align with your vision. Others drain you, keep you small, and hold you in a version of yourself that you have outgrown. You must choose wisely. Silence is not weakness, distance is not selfishness. When you choose to step back from people, places, or conversations that deplete you, you are not abandoning them, you are choosing yourself. You are making space for clarity, for elevation, for transformation. The absence of your energy from spaces that do not honor it is the greatest statement you can make. Some will not understand your silence, some will be uncomfortable with your withdrawal, but that is not your concern. The ones who truly value your presence will feel the shift. They will recognize that your absence speaks volumes. And those who only sought to take from you, to pull from your energy without reciprocation, will reveal themselves. This is the power of detachment. It exposes truth without confrontation. The most powerful beings in history did not move through the world with endless words. They moved with presence, with certainty, with an unshakable knowing that needed no explanation. You too can step into that power. Let your energy speak. Let your focus shape your path. Remove all that weakens your spirit and disrupts your peace. The less you explain, the more people will feel. The less you react, the more you command. And when you cut unnecessary contacts, you will find that everything meant for you begins to flow effortlessly into your life. When you withdraw, people and opportunities that once overlooked you begin to seek you. This is the law of reversal. The moment you stop chasing, the moment you remove your energy from situations where it was once given freely, a shift occurs. What you once pursued now turns toward you. What seemed unattainable begins to move in your direction. Silence, distance, and detachment are not acts of loss, but acts of power. They reset the balance, allowing you to step into a position where you are no longer at the mercy of external circumstances. Most people operate under the illusion that effort alone brings results. They believe that by constantly reaching out, explaining themselves, proving their worth, or insisting on being seen, they can force recognition. But the more you chase, the more you repel. The more you give without discernment, the more you are taken for granted. Energy flows where attention goes. And when you invest your energy in people, situations, or opportunities that do not reciprocate, you create imbalance. But the moment you pull back, the dynamic reverses. The same people who once dismissed you suddenly notice your absence. The same doors that remain closed begin to open effortlessly. Silence shifts power back into your hands. It creates mystery, intrigue, and a void that others feel the need to fill. When you are always available, always responding, always explaining, you give others control over your energy. But when you step back, when you no longer react, you force the world to reevaluate your presence. Those who once overlooked you begin to wonder. Those who took you for granted begin to question. This is because people do not truly value what is always within reach. They value what they fear losing. Detachment is not about playing games, it is about reclaiming your energy. When you withdraw, you are not punishing anyone. You are simply choosing to stop pouring into spaces that do not nourish you. You are choosing to let your absence teach the lesson your presence could not. The moment you become indifferent, the moment you no longer seek validation, you become the one who is sought after. You no longer move in desperation but in certainty, and that certainty is magnetic. Then, this law applies not only to people but also to opportunities. Many chase success, wealth, and recognition with an anxious energy, believing that relentless pursuit is the key. But the most powerful manifestations occur when you shift from chasing to attracting. When you align yourself with abundance, when you stop begging the world for permission and instead embody the energy of already having. Everything you desire begins to move toward you. The less you force, the more you allow. To activate the law of reversal, you must learn to let go. Let go of the need to be understood. Let go of the need to be chosen. Let go of the need to control outcomes. Trust that your silence, your withdrawal, and your detachment are not acts of defeat but of empowerment. What is meant for you cannot ignore you when you stand firm in your worth. Walk away with certainty and watch as everything that once seemed distant begins to find its way back to you. The version of you that needed approval, explanations, and external validation must be left behind. That self, the one who sought acceptance, who feared judgment, who needed reassurance from the outside world, has no place in the life you are stepping into. There comes a moment when you must choose between your old self and the person you are becoming. You cannot hold on to both. Growth demands sacrifice, and in this case, the sacrifice is the outdated version of you that no longer serves your highest good. For too long, you have measured your worth through the eyes of others. You have explained yourself to those who never truly listened. You have sought approval from those who were never meant to validate you. But what has that ever truly given you? Temporary acceptance? Superficial belonging? These things are illusions, and the sooner you release them, the sooner you step into your true power. Let the old version of you die. Let go of the one who needed to be liked, who sought constant validation, who feared being misunderstood. None of that serves you. You were never meant to be understood by everyone. You were never meant to fit into spaces that required you to shrink, to bend, or to prove yourself. The real you, the powerful, unshakable, and limitless you, can only emerge when you make space for it. And that means cutting ties with the old. This is why silence and distance are necessary. They are not acts of cruelty, they are acts of rebirth. You cannot hold on to old relationships, old habits, and old ways of thinking while trying to build something new. The moment you decide to evolve, everything that belongs to the old version of you will either fall away or fight to keep you where you were. But you must not waver. You must not be afraid to let go. Some people will not recognize this new version of you. They will say you have changed. They will question your silence. They will try to pull you back into familiar patterns. But remember this: those who truly align with you will evolve with you. Those who belong in your future will respect the transformation. Do not lower yourself to keep the comfort of familiarity. Let what must go, go. Let what must fade, fade. The only thing you owe yourself is the commitment to your own growth. As you release the old, a new reality begins to take shape. Opportunities you once chased will now seek you. Peace will replace the anxiety that once controlled you. Confidence will replace the self-doubt that once held you back. But this only happens when you're willing to detach from everything that belongs to the past version of you. Step into this new reality without fear. Let go without hesitation. Trust that the void you create by cutting ties with the old will be filled with something far greater. The death of the old you is not a loss, it is a liberation. And from that liberation, the life you were always meant to live will finally emerge. The absence of your words will echo louder than anything you could ever say. Silence is not an empty space. It is a powerful force. When you remove yourself, when you stop explaining, stop arguing, stop justifying, you create a void, a space that others are left to fill with their own thoughts. And in that space, reflection begins. People rarely appreciate what is always available to them. They take for granted what is constantly within reach, what never threatens to leave. But when you withdraw, when you remove your presence, it forces them to confront a reality they never considered, the reality of your absence. This is when the mind begins to replay every conversation, every overlooked effort, every moment where they fail to recognize your value. Silence forces others to sit with themselves, and for many that is the most uncomfortable experience of all. In your silence, they will be left to wonder, to question, to analyze. The words you no longer speak will repeat in their minds louder than they ever did when spoken aloud. The gestures they ignored will become clear in hindsight. The love they took for granted, the support they assumed would always be there. Suddenly, all of it will stand out in ways it never did before. People only truly see the value of something once it is gone. When you were there, when your energy was freely given, it was easy to overlook. But the moment you pull away, the shift is undeniable. Your silence speaks in a way words never could. It forces a confrontation with a truth, an awareness that your presence was not an obligation but a choice. And now, that choice is no longer theirs to depend on. Some will come to realize your worth too late. They will reach out, not because they miss you, but because they miss what you provided. They will try to pull you back into the dynamic where you were the giver and they were the receiver. But you must recognize this for what it is. True recognition is not just words of regret. It is change, action. Others will never acknowledge your worth, even in your absence. But that is the ultimate proof that leaving was necessary. Your silence did not fail, it simply revealed the truth. Those who truly valued you will reflect, adjust, and grow. Those who never did will fade away. Either way, you win. Either way, you remove yourself from spaces where you were not appreciated and create room for connections that recognize your value without needing to lose you first. This is why you must not fear detachment. Do not be afraid to step back. Do not feel the need to explain your silence. It is not your job to make others understand your worth. It is their job to see it. And if it takes your absence for them to realize it, then that in itself is the lesson. The greatest impact you will ever have is not in convincing others to see you, but in walking away until they are forced to. Let your silence do the work. Let it echo. Let it be the lesson. And most importantly, let it be the reminder that your presence is a gift, not something to be expected, but something to be cherished. Silence is not weakness, it is power. Detachment is not loss, it is freedom. When you cut ties with what no longer serves you, you create space for transformation. By choosing silence over unnecessary explanations, you reclaim your energy, shift the balance of power, and force those around you to reflect. The absence of your words, your presence, and your efforts will speak louder than anything you could ever say. The growth requires sacrifice, and the old version of you, the one that sought validation, begged for understanding, and overextended for the unworthy, must be left behind. In that letting go, a new reality emerges. You become the one who is sought after, respected, and valued. Not because you demanded it, but because your silence and absence reveal the truth. So step forward in confidence. Do not fear detachment. Do not hesitate to remove yourself from spaces where you are not appreciated. The right people will understand your worth without needing to lose you first. The wrong ones will fade away, making room for what truly belongs in your life. In the end, silence is the most powerful statement you will ever make. Thank you. Thank you.